I had a lot of friends who used to say to me, you know, have friends who say to me, say just I'm being lazy, and that, you know, dyslexia doesn't exist. And I remember like overhearing my girlfriend sort of discussing with one of my friends at the party, sort of, he was like, you know, I don't buy this dyslexia thing, I think he's just being lazy, he just needs to learn that. And, you know, partially the grammar thing, I can't say I'm overly 100% confident on it, but I know a lot better than I used to. But the confidence thing is down to sort of me just not being confident in life when it comes to things like that. But like I said before about the American church, that sort of thing I can't help. The grammar thing, learning rules about where things should go, I can understand, I can learn eventually, but stuff that have no sort of ability to change is reading things that aren't there, or writing things down that aren't meant to be there. And that's something I have no control over whatsoever. And, you know, I think people need a bit of tolerance when it comes to things like this, because it is paramount to insulting somebody who's disabled. You know, it's not, you know, taking the piss out of somebody. You know, it's one step down from taking the piss out of somebody because they wear glasses. You know, and it's the same sort of thing. You've got something that's wrong with you, something you cannot help. Physically cannot help it. When I write things down and they're not what I mean them to be, that's not like, even if I've read it over and over and over again, it doesn't sort of, I can't do anything about it. And I think we need to stick up for, you know, dyslexic people in general, because I know as much people think, well, that's an excuse, you're just making an excuse for that, you know. It's hard to explain, but unless you're there and you have to struggle with your mind, and it is a struggle. You're struggling with your mind, and everything I do, like my memory is poor. Like I cannot remember where I put things. I'll put something down and walk off, and then I'll just forget sort of what I was meant to be doing. Like I remember I was coming down here to do this, and I checked my camera, and oh, I haven't got a memory card. And I went all the way upstairs, and I sat down. I was like, why am I here? I honestly couldn't for the life of me understand why I was upstairs and what I was looking for. And that's a part of it, you know, your brain just doesn't work the way other people's does. And it's not laziness, it literally is just a problem. And that's why I get a bit defensive about sort of when people start taking the piss about it, because especially now, you know, I've worked through the things that I know I can improve, but there are certain things that I can't. When people sort of judge you about it, and okay, they might not know, but even so, you know, there's no need to be that person. There's no need to be that guy on minor infractions, because it's pointless. It's just being elitist, and it's just being a bit of a douche, to be honest. I think basically what I'm trying to say with the whole sort of what I would like people to understand is, for, you know, I think people, you know, for me, I don't think, dyslexic or not, right, I don't think people should basically, if there's minor infractions within sort of spelling and maybe the odd grammar bit of slang, or maybe they've used a comma instead of a semicolon, or full stop instead of a semicolon, or something like that. I personally think that you don't need to sort of say anything. If you can read it, and you understand it, and you know what it means, or maybe you agree with it, or you don't agree with it, it's not the issue. You've read it and you understand where it's going. If because of the punctuation and the spelling you can't read it, then yeah, fine, say something. But if you can, then the only reason you're going to say that is to sort of, it's not being constructive because you're judging something, you're just sitting and saying, well, haha, you've done that wrong. That's sort of, that's not how you do it. That's just being elitist. Now, obviously, if you measured them privately and went, mate, just check out, you're spelling a few things wrong, and people can learn from that. But if you're just sort of kind of firing it out there, what sort of benefit is that going to have other than make you look like a bit of a dick and me feel like a dick? But I just think people need to sort of understand that dyslexia is a disability, and it is something that people have to fight through to get through their lives. And it's not like they don't want it. I would gladly not have it. I would gladly be able to sort of learn things, because there's so much in my life that I want to sort of learn. There's so many sort of periods of history and stuff I'd love to sort of kind of get into, and there's so much things that I'd like to do, but I can't, because it takes me so long just to go through one book. When I read books, I've got to read through books 2 or 3 times to sort of make sure something sort of sticks in my head. I've had to read pages 4 or 5 times just to grasp what was going on, because words might be going through my mind, but they're not making any sense. I think, with dyslexia, there's definitely a lot of people who struggle with it, and they probably think that they're stupid too. If you are dyslexic, you're not stupid. There's problems in your mind, and there are parts of it, like that you can maybe overcome through sort of kind of really, you will have to try harder than the average person will, but you can overcome parts. But there's certain things beyond your control, and you shouldn't feel bad about that. It's not like, somebody who can't see shouldn't feel bad about not being able to see. Somebody who can't walk shouldn't feel like they're bad who can't walk. Somebody who has another mental disability shouldn't feel bad for what they can't help. And other people shouldn't make them feel bad for it either. You just got to work at what you know. You've got to work at what you can make better, just to make yourself, not for anybody else, but for yourself, to make yourself feel better about yourself, make yourself feel better. Like I said, now when I write things, I'm quite a keen writer, even though I struggle at it. The zombie story thing that we're doing for the Writers' Challenge, I'm on like page 7 of mine. I don't know how good it'll be, but I've done 7 pages of it, and I'm still going. And with me, I think sort of my best sort of tips for somebody who's maybe dyslexic and what they need, what they should do, is take things slowly and prepare yourself. Now, I say this, but I haven't really prepared for this. I've just done it over and over again, and I've learnt from the mistakes. So I've gone back behind the camera, I've watched what I've said, and then I've come back and went, right, okay, and I've learnt from that. But if you do it slowly, and you take your time, and you write down what you need to do, and if you've got to read something, you read it over a few times. If you've got to write something, you read it over a couple of times just to make sure. Another really good bit of advice Chris gave me was, if you're writing something, read it out loud. And if it doesn't make any sense when you read it out loud, then it's not going to make any sense if somebody's written it down. Especially with the grammar parts, because you want to sort of, it has to flow, and in your mind, obviously there's a voice talking when you're reading things out, so people can't sort of understand it, then it's not going to be enjoyable.